Ever tried to wrangle a huge project online?
Yeah.
Like, get everyone on the same page, different skills, time zones. It could be a nightmare. Now imagine doing that with no one in charge. No, like, central authority calling the shots.
It's the Wild West out there.
It really is. That's the world of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. And that's where we're diving today with Metis.
And the really fascinating thing about Metis is it's not just about making DAOs work, it's about making them thrive, really taking it to that next level. We're talking complex collaborations, even entire decentralized companies all built on blockchain tech.
Exactly. Forget just basic voting. This is like next level stuff. We're going deep into their 2021 white paper technical fundamentals to see how they do it. And fair warning, things do get a little, well, technical.
A little bit.
But stick with us. We'll break it down, make sense of it all, even if you're not, fluent in blockchain yourself.
Absolutely. I think the key takeaway here is that Metis is laser focused on solving some of the biggest pain points we see in blockchain right now. The white paper specifically calls out the high fees, those pesky gas costs on platforms like Ethereum, and those often, well, painfully slow transaction speeds.
Yeah, it's like trying to buy a stick of gum with a $100 bill and then waiting a week for your change.
Right. Not exactly ideal.
Not quite.
So Metis, they want to bridge that gap, be that missing piece, that layer 2 solution that injects some much-needed speed and efficiency into the equation. Imagine a world where blockchain isn't bogged down by those slow, expensive transactions. That's what Metis is building.
It's like taking, I don't know, a regular old bicycle and turning it into one of those, like, electric bikes.
There you go.
You still have the basic structure, but with a whole other level of power, a whole other level of functionality. So that's essentially what Metis is doing, creating the second layer, this layer 2, on top of these existing blockchains to give them a serious upgrade.
Exactly, and their weapon of choice for this. Optimistic rollups.
Okay, optimistic rollups.
Yeah.
Sounds like a new fitness class to me.
Well, it might be just as revolutionary for blockchain. To put it simply, it's all about bundling transactions together off-chain and then just submitting like one summary of everything to the main blockchain.
Okay.
This reduces congestion, streamlines the whole process. It's really quite elegant.
So it's like taking a whole stack of letters and delivering them all in one go. I like it.
Yeah.
But if we're doing all this stuff off-chain, how do we know that everything's above board? How do we know that someone's not pulling a fast one? That's where things get really interesting, and that's what we'll be uncovering in part 2 of our Metis deep dive. So we've got Metis, right? Building this super efficient layer 2, kind of like adding a turbocharger to our blockchain car. But let's pop the hood here. What's going on under there?
Right. Let's take a look.
The white paper dives into some cool features. One that really jumped out at me, this idea of separating compute and storage.
Oh, absolutely. It's an elegant solution. Think of it like this.
Okay.
You've got a powerful engine in your car, right? That's your compute power, crunching data, executing tasks. But you also need a spacious trunk to carry all your stuff. That's your storage.
Right.
Metis takes this same principle, applies it to blockchain.
Okay.
So instead of one massive server trying to handle everything, Metis shares the load.
Interesting.
Which means it can scale, accommodate way more activity without sacrificing speed or breaking the bank.
It's like having a whole fleet of delivery trucks, not just one.
Exactly. Now, within Metis, each decentralized company, we call it a day.
Right.
Each one gets its own unique set of operating rules.
Okay.
This is where the D-Day charter comes in.
So it's like a digital constitution for your decentralized company, right?
You got it. It's the rule book, ensures everyone's on the same page, playing fair,
Right.
outlines everything from the DA's purpose, its membership, to how decisions are made, voting mechanisms, resource allocation, the whole shebang.
And because it's all coded into the blockchain, it's all transparent, tamper-proof. It's like, those self-executing contracts in spy movies?
Right.
Except instead of exploding briefcases, we're talking transparent and secure agreements in the digital world.
Exactly. And it's all automated. But there are situations, right, where you need some flexibility, where not everyone gets access to everything.
Of course. Yeah.
This is where permission management comes into play.
Okay, so not everyone needs the keys to the kingdom.
Precisely. Metis provides that granular control over who can do what within the system, like different levels of security clearance and, say, a high-tech facility.
So you could have certain actions that require multiple people to sign off?
Exactly.
Or even, like, block specific individuals from certain operations?
Exactly, precisely. Checks and balances, but for decentralized organizations.
Very cool. Now, what about sensitive information? I know the white paper mentions this special storage layer using something called IPFS.
Right, IPFS.
What is that exactly?
Think of it like a decentralized Dropbox.
Okay.
Instead of storing your files on one central server, it's spread out across a whole network of computers.
Gotcha. So instead of putting sensitive data directly on the blockchain, where theoretically anyone could access it, Metis uses IPFS to keep things, under wraps.
Exactly. An extra layer of privacy, extra layer of security.
Yeah.
Keeps that sensitive information confidential.
It's like having a safe inside your already secure digital vault.
There you go.
Now, with all this off-chain stuff happening, the centralized storage, how do you prevent, someone trying to cheat the system? With everything so spread out, how do you keep everyone honest?
It's a good question, and Metis has a couple of really clever solutions. First, they have these rangers.
Rangers, like park rangers, but for the blockchain.
In a way, their job is to make sure everything adds up, validate those transactions.
So they're like blockchain auditors.
Exactly, making sure no one's cooking the books. And here's the best part. They're incentivized to do it right.
Oh, how so?
They earn rewards for accurate validation. It's built into the system.
Ah, okay, so there's a financial incentive to play by the rules.
Exactly. But you might be thinking, what's to stop someone from, say, bribing a ranger?
Right, good point.
That's where dynamic bond thresholds come in. Basically, the more valuable a D is, the higher the stakes for the rangers.
So it's like the security measures scale up in relation to what's being protected.
Precisely. To participate in securing a high-value DS, rangers have to put up a significant bond, a chunk of their own crypto.
So if they try to pull a fast one and get caught, they lose it all.
Exactly. It's all about risk and reward. Makes honesty the most, shall we say, logical choice.
I like it. It's clever. Okay, so we've covered a lot here. DSC charters, permission management, IPFS for security, rangers keeping everyone in check.
Yeah.
It all sounds really well thought out, but what does this actually look like in the real world? What are the actual implications of all this?
That's a real question, isn't it?
It is. And that's what we'll be diving into in part 3 of our Metis deep dive. We spent a lot of time, down in the weeds with Metis. Features, security. We even met their digital park rangers. But
They're great, aren't they?
They are. But let's pull back for a sec. What does this all actually mean, in the grand scheme of things?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Because
Yeah.
we're talking tech, yeah, but the implications here, what Metis is trying to do, it goes way beyond that.
Totally. It's not just about the code. It's about the doors it opens.
Yeah.
The possibilities.
Exactly. Imagine a world, right, where working together on these huge, complex projects, it could be anything. A bunch of artists around the world making a digital fashion line, or scientists collaborating on some groundbreaking research. It all becomes so much smoother.
No more, endless email threads.
Oh, tell me about it.
Trying to share files.
Exactly.
And everyone taking their cut along the way.
Gone. Metis, it's all about that direct collaboration, peer-to-peer, with built-in systems for, making decisions, resolving disputes, sharing profits fairly.
It's like you're removing all the friction
There you go.
from working together. Not just making it a bit faster or cheaper, but fundamentally changing how we think about collaboration.
I love that. And don't forget, because Metis is built on this blockchain foundation, it's inherently global. Anyone can access it.
So someone with, a good idea and an internet connection, no matter where they are, what their background is,
Yeah.
they could contribute to these DAOs, even profit from them.
Absolutely. The potential here is enormous, especially for folks who've been shut out of traditional systems.
Leveling the playing field.
Exactly. Giving people control, over their own data, their own work, their own slice of the pie.
I like it. But, gotta be realistic, Metis is still early days. A lot depends on whether people actually use it and how
Yeah.
it develops.
For sure. For sure. There are always hurdles when you're trying to, change the game this much, especially on a global scale.
Right.
But you can't deny the potential. This isn't just tweaking what we already have. This is about building something totally new.
Exactly.
Something that could genuinely change how we think about, work, collaboration, even just how we create value on a global scale.
And that's what makes it so exciting. We've really just scratched the surface here with Marutis, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on. If they can actually pull this off, if they can actually make decentralized collaboration work the way they envision it,
Yeah.
well, who knows what the future holds, right?
Yeah.
That's something for you all listening to think about.
Sometimes the best questions are the ones without easy answers. And exploring those questions, grappling with the possibilities, that's what makes these deep dives so fascinating. Thanks for joining us.